Good evening, the judges and everyone here. Let me introduce that we have come from the School of Nutrition and Health Science, and we want to propose a mobile health application to support comprehensive drainage nutrition care. And firstly, it is predicted that by 2050, 1 in 5 people will be over 60, according to the WHO report. And the world has committed to a lot of sustainable development goals to assist, and also to this promise is like for everybody to get their health care and their social needs. But actually, health care are not yet ready for everybody, because according to the statistic in the U.S. now, 1 in 2 is near 50% of elderly are at risk of malnutrition. And because malnutrition will lead to a lot of consequences, like you will prolong your hospital admission, hospital stays, and also it increase around 3 times higher of hospital costs for the disease associated with malnutrition in older adults. And that's because for elderly, they have a lot of problems in the eating behavior and also in the nutrition, like they have a lower appetite when we compare to the adults, and they are lack of the food access for several reasons, like economics, also like the cooking for one here means that usually when you get all you cook for yourself, because their partner they pass away. Cooking for one will reduce the diversity of your diet, so that makes your diet is not healthy as usual. So acknowledge all of the problems here. We can see that for the according to the report, the U.S. economic burden of disease associated malnutrition is estimated around $150 billion annually, and this has a very high burden on the care system. For example, for the disease associated with malnutrition, can have a very significant improvement when they come after they discharge from the hospital. But the nutrition status is missing across care system, which means that after discharge from the hospital, most of the patients they cannot get adequate nutrition support to provide for their long-term care. And this suggests that a need of integrated nutrition risk identification and nutrition care into the care transition pathway. So that's why, therefore, we now want to propose a mobile health application to support comprehensive nutrition care. This application can be used for the home care with the caregiver or the family support, or also used in the nursing home. We integrated the malnutrition screening process into this application, such as we can screening for malnutrition at the first stage, assess the dietary intake, physical activity, and also we can have the dietitian to monitor and diagnose the malnutrition. And in the consumer, we can have to plan personalized nutrition care. And this is the framework of our system. So for the elderly, we can measure their like body measure, like the blood pressure, heart rate, using the sensor or the wearable cell. Also, we can measure their physical activity, and then the caregiver or the family can report their dietary intake into the APP, and those information will send into the global database system, and the reviewer, which means the physician or the dietitian, can assess the information, and therefore they can be modified or adjust to provide personalized care for the patient. And this is the user interface that we propose, where you can have their body measure, nutrition intake, activity measurement, like activity time, and we want to emphasize on the nutrition because we want to, okay, And this is the interface for the nutrition. The caregiver can take the pictures of the food, the dietary intake, and in order to identify and estimate their dietary intake, we propose AI image-based dietary assessment based on the current development, like neural network for food segmentation or classification, or also for the volume estimation, we propose around 5 approaches. This is the current development of AI technology now, and therefore the outcome will be their energy and the nutrient intake. And by collecting those data, like we can have their dietary pattern, the food preference, the eating behaviors, and using the technology, it will help us to analyze their food choice and therefore can improve the food choice and dietary habits. And
you have to stop.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's time for judges. In a little bit.
Yeah. I like your idea. You spent a lot of time telling us about the problem. Yeah. Next time can be shorter and introduce your services more. And I think you want to make a kind of infrastructure and also APP for the elderly,
yes,
and also for the caregiver.
Yes.
And there are 2 things. One is who enter those kind of diet information into the APP. Maybe the elderly people, they do that by themselves,
Because
or other people will do that for them.
actually, because the first stage, like we want to integrate into the nursing home.
Yeah. So,
Yes, so the nursing home will usually have the caregiver or the nurses.
so the caregiver need to take every picture before they eat. Stop eating. I will take the picture. Okay, that will be one problem that you can think about.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
And the next step is very interesting one is the AI assessment of food.
Yes.
That sounds cool, but is it workable or?
Currently now, because there are several technologies, currently now they try to use AI to estimate the food.
In your team member doing this or other company doing that?
No, I mean because we come from the same lab and our lab is trying to.
To do this?
Yes.
Cool.
So let me say, if you can just build a thing where I can take a picture of a meal and it estimates the calories,
Yes, that's
you
right.
will be a billionaire and you don't have to do anything.
Actually,
Like that would be just absolutely amazing
because
technology that everybody will
the
buy.
accuracy rate now is still low. Because the main I think the most important thing about AI is the database. Because if you don't have a good database, the result will be very bad. Yeah. So that's why we try to focus on the database first, to build up the database for AI.
It's a very hard.
Yes.
Yeah. And not easy to be precise.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you have no idea about how sweet it is, for example, when
Yes.
you take the picture.
Because
only.
actually currently now for the traditional way that because my team also has a dietitian and in the hospital now the dietitian need to ask the participant to make do you remember what you ate yesterday? And then we take the interview. And then after that we calculate by hand or by using the database. And then it costs a lot of burden for the dietitian also. And also for the participant they need to memorize. Yeah.
Compared to the very traditional
Yes.
pattern is improved a lot. But but long way to go, right?
That's definitely it.
Can I ask, so Hult Prize is a business competition and you didn't tell me how you make money.
Make money.
Make money.
You have to make money. This is you're trying to build a business. So
Actually, we want to propose it for the nursing home because we think that in Taiwan, currently in Taiwan, there are around more than 1,000 nursing homes. We take care of around 60,000 the elderly.
okay, but how do you make money? Who pays you?
Of
Is it the nursing homes?
the nursing home or hospitals because we build it like because we build it for back end inside because we want the dietitian analyze the food intake more accurately than now because
nursing homes are very cost conscious, and you have to go and convince them to add this cost to what they do for something that they might not see the value in. I mean, it's why Hult Prize is a business competition, because you have to think not only about what solves the problem, but how you actually make it real. Like, somebody has to give you money for this, and then you have to make money, and I was missing that part of this. So.
Okay.
You guys can think about that business model.